At Bianchi Honda, we want to exceed your expectations for customer service. From our gorgeous showroom and accommodating staff to our extraordinary selection of Honda vehicles and industry-leading service department. Your vehicle should be the best choice for you, and you can find it here at Bianchi Honda. I'm Jason Perico, and I promise to always make it worth a visit.
Welcome back to the Blitz, everybody. I am James R. I'll be with you until 6 o'clock. Great conversations earlier on those enrollments. What will General McLean do? Oh, I think our kids should play in the NFL so we can avoid everybody in Erie. I'll tell you, that was disgraceful discussing what they did to their kids. All because of personalities, and that's ridiculous. But anyhow, speaking of personalities, we have a gentleman here with a personality. Might not be as upbeat as I was anticipating. Want to welcome Gannon women's coach, Jim Brunelli. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Every Monday, folks. So the Gannon women off to a really fast start, 4-1.
Yep.
4-1. Let's start with the Clarion game. You had an exhibition and two regular season games. Then you opened the league at Clarion.
Yes.
And the Clarion women, I believe, won yesterday. But you went down there. I know how I felt, but nobody else really cares. I want to get your opinion. How did you see that for the first league game on the road?
I didn't think we did that bad. I mean, it was just tough. We, coming off of the trip that we made to Westchester, and then with the way that tournament worked out, we weren't able to give a day off, so we had to give a day off on a Monday, so we only had one day to prepare for Clarion. And, I thought our kids played really hard. Clarion has a lot of new faces, like I said, the week before. And, they gave us everything they had. And luckily enough, we were able to withstand it. And we had some kids go off for some big numbers that night. And I was really happy to see that. The biggest thing on my end was, the turnovers. We had a few in the first couple games, and then to only have 14 in that game, I thought that helped out quite a bit.
We did the game on the radio. I liked the team. Going in, I thought you were going to be a balanced team. I didn't see anything to change my opinion.
Right.
Then you come home Saturday and Sunday, yesterday and 2 days ago. You play a good Millersville team on Saturday.
Yeah, caught them at the right time. Our defense was working that day, made a lot of situations for them tough. They missed what I thought was a lot of easy ones. We made them turn over the ball quite a bit. Now, they made us turn over the ball even more. But, when you're able to shoot 46% from the field and, 35% from the three and then 83% from the free throw line, you tend to win a few ball games. And we ended up, grabbing a couple more rebounds from them. But I thought it was our overall balance and our defense that helped us get through that game. We frustrated them a little bit.
All right, and then I saw almost the whole game yesterday against Shippensburg, who was picked to finish second in the East. So, it's not like they were sneaking up on you.
Right.
It's just like you just could never get over the hump or something.
Yeah.
That and the fact their free throw shooting, I turned to Sean, I said, I understand they're making their free throws, but like a bad effort was if it nicked the rim going through.
Yeah.
I've never seen it this way. 20 out of 21 in the second half. But where did you beat? Where did they beat you?
Well, obviously from the free throw line. I mean,
Yeah.
they went 28 for 32 for the game. They had two of their players go. One went 10 for 10. One went 12 for 12. Actually, their point guard, 24, that's the only point she scored was from the free throw line. She was 0 for everything else, but we fouled her and she went and she hit free throws. We came out flat. They were snake bit. They got beat the other night by Mercyhurst, and they had something to prove, and we just come out not ready. And like I told my team the other day, last night, I said, we didn't come out ready. We had a lot of miscues on defense. We did some things that are uncharacteristic of us. We didn't play our best on defense, and we missed free throws. And we still, despite playing that bad, we still had our chances to win.
Definitely.
And it was only because of the fight that our kids have. That will, that togetherness, and that fight that kept us in the game. They're bigs. defensively, we did some things that, like I said, were uncharacteristic. We
They
went
looked
for
so
steals.
Slow to me. I thought you guys were just a matter of time before you.
Yeah, I think sometimes when you see
they
that,
thought that too.
yeah, I think sometimes when you see that, you think you can make a move, and we had people go for things that they shouldn't have got. Went for steals in really crucial times of the game or in crucial areas like in the post. You can't go for steals when there's nobody behind you. It's a layup. We gave up 6 points just on that.
Now,
and then
is
we
that
had
as much going for the steal and not getting help, or
Well, it's one of the things
it
that
depends when you go for the
yeah,
steal?
yeah. If you're the last line of defense between you and the basket, you go for a steal. There's no help.
Yeah, that's
There's no help. The closest person was the referee, and they ain't going to help us. So, it's one of those things where you gotta stand up and play defense. And I thought we gambled at times. And I'm not, me, I'm not a gambler. I don't even go to the casinos. I don't like it. I lose. And when people gamble, it doesn't work out, especially on the defensive end. There's times you can go for it. There are. But when you're the last line of defense and you go for a steal and you're 4 feet away from the basket, you don't get it. It usually ends in something bad, and that's a bucket or a foul.
All right, 5 games, 2-1 in the conference.
Yeah.
Have you seen enough to think you're developing a personality? Are you developing a rotation? Have you seen anything to change your mind, or is it just way too early?
No, I think it's still too early. I think I have my thoughts about player personnel and some rotations. It's tough because you see a Millersville team who is really, really super athletic, up and down the floor. Then you go to Shippensburg, who is a very fundamental, methodical type team.
Very bulky.
Yeah, and that they take up space. And the one thing they did that they couldn't do the other night was they scored on the block, and they did a lot of that. So it's one of those things where it's still a work in progress. I like our top 5, 6, 7 kids. I would like to find one more who's going to be consistent. Get around that 8. Like I told you last week. It's our team. I don't think we're going to be a team that plays 9, 10, 11 kids double-minute figures, an average. We got to go with our best 6, 7, 8 type players and just go all out.
It looks like, though, there is going to be balanced scoring. Morgan Neighbors playing well. I think Shively's a threat. Amanda Birchall, you talk about the prototype veteran point guard.
Yeah.
Good young kids, because I still find myself going back to the program.
Saying, who is that?
And they look talented. So are you happy with the pieces?
Definitely. And they are pieces. We're trying to fit this puzzle, and we're reworking it and moving pieces around and trying to do that. But I'm really happy with the way this team has come together as far as an overall team. They get along really well. They're a fun group to be around, and that's half the battle right there. Now we just got to develop more trust, especially on the defensive end, and I think we'll go there because we have some talented players that are on the court as well as some that can get on the court as subs, and I'm really happy with the way we've been playing. We just gotta, another issue for us in the game yesterday was we got in foul trouble. You can't have 3 or 4 players like we had with 4 fouls and then 1 foul's out. It's tough. We got our bigs in trouble early and they had to sit out, and our subs came in and did a nice job, didn't let it get out of hand. And what happens is it's tough to be as aggressive as you want to be when you got 4 fouls or 3 fouls.
All right, before our next show, a week from tonight, Thanksgiving Eve, obviously you won't be at the boxing matches with me.
No.
You'll be in Shepherd.
Yes.
I love that little campus. They have a great-looking football field. I like their gym. It's a cool-looking trip. You can almost feel vibes from the Civil War. It looks like a Maryland type.
Okay.
It's pretty cool. I've been down there at least twice.
Mm-hmm.
Why Shepherd? Why a game the night before Thanksgiving?
Well, it's one of those things where we're trying to fit our non-conference schedule. A region game. They were a team that made it to the Atlantic region last year in the NCAA tournament. And it's just one of those things where it's so tough to fit games in your schedule. Being that we keep getting moved back and volleyball keeps moving back and all these tournaments and then you have Thanksgiving, it's hard to fit. I mean, 4 non-conference games in. You can't do anything after Christmas because everybody, we did last year, it was just dumb luck. Lemoyne had a bye date, so did we. You can't bank on that every year. So you got to try to cram 4 games plus your non-con, all your games in November and December. And with our finals schedule different than pretty much everybody else, we're not in finals, everybody else is. You can't play there, and coaches don't want to play. So, this was a date that we worked on and said we got to do it. If we got to go on the road to do it, we'll go on the road to do it and get a game in versus a good, talented team.
Have you had a chance to think about them?
Yeah, we watched some film. My assistant coach DeVille, it's her scout, so we I've been watching film since last night, and they're a talented team. We're going on the road to play them. I've never been to that school yet, but on film it looks exactly what you said. They have a nice court.
Yeah.
It'll definitely be a battle because one of the areas that's a battle is the mental game. Who's going to check out? How many players on either team is going to check out that are thinking about Turkey?
Yeah, their parents are sitting in the stands.
Sitting in the stands.
Running, yeah.
Yep. And, kids are bringing, because we're giving them the day off for Thanksgiving, so kids are bringing their school books, their clothes, everything you hear of, and you just hope that we can keep them focused and ready to go.
Not your normally Wednesday afternoon game, 2 o'clock.
Right. And that was planned by them. I really appreciate Coach Ecclebetter doing that because of the situation of, wanting to get kids home and be with their families for Thanksgiving. So we're playing a 2 o'clock tip, and then we'll be able to get on the road after that.
Now, I know this is a stretch to even ask you about Grand Valley. They take their sports seriously up there. I remember from those insane trips I made when I was with the GLIAC. Thank God I'm not doing that anymore. Offhand, anything about Grand Valley?
I know that they're a very good team. They have a new coach, but they have a couple assistants that are in a place and in place there. And they were really good last year, and I don't expect them to be anything different, but a very good, well-coached team. So haven't started watching film on them because we take it one day at a time, one game at a time, and we're just focused right now on Shepherd.
All right, and then that's your last independent game.
That's it. That's it. Yeah, we're
crazy.
done.
So then you're back, a week from tomorrow against IUP. We'll talk about that. But it's full speed ahead because, like the men's side, this PSAC West is going to be really balanced, and Mercyhurst jumped up there with 2 good wins.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's one of those things where, we just finished five games in 8 days, and we got another 2 this week. So, you do the math there. We've been playing, then all of a sudden we'll hit a little bit of a lull with finals week because we don't play in there when everybody else is on finals. So we'll get some good practice time in, get a lot of shots up, be able to recover a little bit from the little nagging injuries that we have. But other than that, it's full steam ahead.
Well, let me ask you this then.
Okay.
I'm old with attention deficit, so some things get away from me. I still look up at the clock in women's basketball and go, 5 minutes left, man. I can't believe we played 15 minutes. And Sean will say, no, we played 5. 5.
Yeah.
And I know that it's not me, though, because Sean's so sharp. We're down in Clarion, and he knows, he's always, I watch the shot clock, but I don't have to tell him.
Right.
So it's like 5 seconds, 4 seconds, and I know the way he was announcing, he thought there was probably 20-some seconds on the shot clock. And I'm going down to 4 seconds, and he's like,
right.
We're still trying to get comfortable with that part, 4 quarters.
Yeah.
Do you look up and still think, look at the clock or...
this is my 18th year at the college level, and it you do a double take, especially this year. But the nice thing about it is, we've had the exhibition game, we had 2 scrimmages, and that's how we played it. So our kids are getting used to it. But it is weird, the whole, and I think everybody's getting used to it. The officials are getting used to it because in the first couple games, there's been mistakes that have been made where they've granted certain timeouts or media timeouts when they shouldn't have. And everybody's working through it. I'm not quite sure anybody's buying in that the reason they're going to it will help speed the game up, because I don't think that's, even though that's what they say, it'll help speed the game up.
Reasoning.
One of the reasons. And the whole thing of being able to get everybody back on the same thing. WNBA plays 4 quarters. Yeah. International rules, they play 4 quarters. I think eventually in the next couple of years you're going to see everybody going to it.
No 1-and-1s. You like the 5 and 2? 5 fouls, 2 shots?
Well, if I'm the one shooting, I like it.
Yeah.
If I'm the one fouling too much and they're making 22 for 22, then I don't like it as much. But I think in the end, when it's all said and done, it'll help our team. It'll help our team. I really do. I think yesterday was a fluke, shooting 56% from the free throw line. The game before that, we were 83. The game before that, 75. The game before that, 73. It helped. But I think as we get going, as we start getting better into our new offense and different things that we're doing, it's going to benefit us in the long run. As long as we can keep our hands off and quit foolish fouling, I think it'll help us in the long run.
All right, explain this rule to me about moving the ball to the front court. There's a timeout, you can have it either under your hoop,
right,
or you can go to the front court, right?
Well, if you're, the only way it can be done is with 59 seconds or less. It's only in the last minute of the game, and it has to be under 1:00.
Yeah.
So it has to be 59, and then it can only be moved to the hash mark in front of our bench. So if we're going the length of the court, if we get a rebound, we call timeout, we can move it, and we did in the other game. We moved it up, and we got a throw in at the 28-foot mark. And as long as you have timeouts available, you can do that. So we were able to do it twice. That's how many timeouts we had. But I think it's a neat rule. I think it makes games interesting. I was thankful that we had the opportunity. I wasn't very happy with the shot selection we took from it. But, you live and learn. We got some great things from it in our scrimmages where we ran some decent things. I think what it's going to do, it's going to make coaches have more sideline out of bounds plays just because of for every situation possible.
Can you throw the ball in the back court from there?
Yes, you could. It's not like the NBA where you can't throw it in.
So you can do that.
Yeah.
That really opens it up.
Yeah, it opens it up a little bit. But yeah, I think it's a neat thing. I think it's good for basketball. It creates a little bit more excitement, especially if it's a close game. I just think it'll add more plays for a certain team, especially on the sidelines.
I just real quick get back to yesterday's game. I thought it was very uncharacteristic of your team. They went to shooting the three a little earlier than I really thought they had to. It looked like they were just trying to, just a sense of urgency maybe they didn't need. Did you see that?
Yeah, well, it's one of those things when you've had some kids who've had some very good success in the first 4 games. This was the lowest we shot from the 3-point line. And, but I'm not going to get on my kids too much about that, only because I'm with them every day in practice, and we have some young ladies that shoot the ball extremely well.
Oh, yeah.
And as long as their feet are set, I'm letting it fly. Just because there's some kids on our team where I'm surprised when they miss. That's just the way it is. They're that consistent, and it didn't happen for us yesterday, but we've won more ball games by hitting that shot than we've lost.
Are there any other changes or any rules or anything we didn't go over or anything?
I can't think of. There's all the substitutions where they have to be up at a certain time and all that, but that really won't come into effect a whole lot.
Are they trying to negate physical play in the women's like they did in the men, or is that
that's been big across the board. Okay. I think the officials will start calling that a little bit more. Just the displacement with cutters, it should be free flowing. You can't be jumping in the middle of them and pushing them off their line.
Gannon had a men's coach once, lack of a better term, psycho, but not a bad psycho, but he was intense like most coaches. And it'd be a big game, Ed Spartan. I said, Coach, you guys ready tonight? What are you going to be doing? And say, we'll be checking all cutters. Yeah. That's what he said. And I'll tell you what, those kids would be going through from the other team. They were getting hit in the head, the chest,
and that's the part. Cutters. Yeah, and that's the part that they're trying to clean up, because you can get in and reroute somebody. It's just now it's gotten too physical where we're throwing forearms and shivers and everything at them, and that doesn't really need to happen. Because we call it smash to flash, cut the cutters, do all that stuff. So, we try to reroute players instead of try to be so physical with them. The only other thing that I could say about the rule is that 10-second rule. If you're trying to bring it up 10-second backcourt and the ball gets tipped out of bounds with 5 seconds left, you have 5 seconds to get it across. It doesn't reset.
Do you like that rule? I always thought that's the way it should be.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I guess if we get in a situation where we get robbed by it or something, then I probably won't like it. But I think if you have a disciplined team, you'll be able to get the ball in enough.
If you had somebody double teamed at the 9-second count and they threw it off your leg,
right? Exactly.
So good defense was.
It'll help good defensive teams. Now I know the one thing that can reset that is if you call a timeout. If you call a timeout, then it resets.
Oh,
it.
yeah. And the other thing is, do they still have that 80% rule? 5 seconds, get the ball in. You can't call timeout after 4.
You don't.
8 seconds in the backcourt. You can't call timeout after that.
No.
They used to have.
Yeah. No.
I mean, when I officiated, that was a rule.
Yeah. Right.
80%.
Right. Yeah. No.
And the ball had to hit somebody before 5 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't know anything about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the closely guarded rule in men's play, I'm glad they wiped that out. That was too subjective.
It's tough. It's
I mean,
tough. I've
see
seen
somebody counting, they're not really counting.
Right.
All of a sudden, you look there like 7, 8, and you're thinking they're not counting.
Yeah, that was always a rough rule to try to be on point on because it's what is your they try to say what's inside the footage, and that's just so tough. You can have kids that are defending somebody all the way over and they break it. It's like how did they break it? They were in their shorts the entire time, but.
All right, Coach Brunelli, certainly appreciate you coming in. Good luck Wednesday and happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, thanks to you. Thank you too.
Talk to you next